We're on a road to nowhere. Come on inside. Taking that ride to nowhere. We'll take that ride. I'm feeling okay this morning. And you know, we're on the road to paradise. Here we go, here we go. There's a city in my mind. Come along and take that ride, and it's alright, baby, it's alright. And it's very far away, but it's growing day by day, and it's alright, baby, it's alright. Would you like to come along, and you can help me sing this song, and it's alright, baby, it's alright. There's a city in my mind. Come along and take that ride, and it's alright, baby, it's alright. And it's very far away, but it's growing day by day. It's alright, baby, it's alright. They could tell you what to do, but they'll make a fool of you, and it's alright, baby, it's alright.
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Tonight I have three incredible ladies with me who I have actually done a panel with before, but they haven't come on my show. So I'm so glad to have the three of you here. I got to meet the Banks sisters down at the Assange protest in DC, which was wonderful. So this is Courtney and Keisha Banks. They have a show, The Banks Sisters. Which amazes me that you're that close that you can do a show together, because I have an identical twin sister and I would strangle her because we have no politics alike at all. And then Josanna, you probably recognize from RBN. You do a show on there as well, and that's how I first met you. You had me on to do a panel about healthcare. So
yes.
Thank all three of you so much for being here, and we're going to actually talk about something you guys are organizing. It's called Camp Dada, and I admit, when I first heard that, I do know what Dadaism is. I've heard of it, but I thought it was Camp Direct Action at first. I'll just admit it. I'll admit it. So
that's like
works. We're into it.
We're gonna go with it, right? Let's go with it.
Yeah. I'm down.
So there you go. Joy, you
to...
just baptized Camp Dada.
I know that the idea kind of originated with one of the guests on the panel, and it was such a good idea. So basically, you know, we were all talking about, you know, well, a lot of us go to politicians and things like that, but let's go to the rich people like that. Show them, you know, they're scared of us. They don't want us near them. Like they feel like the pores are going to rub off or something. But you guys have this idea and it's all coming together and it's amazing. So tell us all what Camp Dada is, essentially, and then we'll go from there.
Well, who wants to start? Okay, I'll simply explain that. I think it's, you know, it's all of that. It's all of that like energy that got wasted, you know, from the Bernie movement. It's all of this energy that I think was ready to stand behind the squad if they had fought for us. You know, I think it's all of this anti-war energy. It's just all of this residual energy of the left movement, where we've been, you know, a lot of us have been stuck inside, isolated, you know, dealing with COVID and things like that. Work to the bone, you know, can't afford anything. So, you know, as much as, yes, we want action involved in this camp, the biggest thing that we want to do is make sure that we're building community with other leftists, because so many of us talk online, but it's really difficult for us to actually meet up and know if we can actually trust each other. Yeah. We can, once we actually meet each other, we can share skills. We can actually start making groups that are going to do things, but we've got to take that first step. So this is that first step.
Absolutely. How about yourself, Josanna?
I think like it's pretty much everything that Courtney just said, but also like with the feeling that that's how I felt always, like by seeing things playing itself out and not feeling part of it, because like the sense of community is lost. It's just like infight, 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 separation, separation, but I don't like your head, and then like escalates and express division. And we are far from being assisted by our own president. We are far from having politicians that are actually fighting for us in the US. There is like babies food shortage. Like there is like we still are in a pandemic. People are still working through a deadly virus, but there is $40 billion for Ukraine to, right, to have aid, to have guns. So these values are too, I'm sorry for lack of vocabulary, but like it's just to watch it and not like and see it. And so I think the way we can communicate and get together and understand that there is a bigger enemy, like a common ground, right? A common enemy, then I think it's by like getting together and being in community and trying to understand each other. And I think Camp Dada will like bring this too. And also educating ourselves on each other's stories.
Absolutely. And, Dada, I'm familiar with it. And then I wanted to look it up today to try and learn more. It does use the arts, which is incredible because, like, if we think about it, the universal language is music. That is the true love that's been happening for thousands and thousands of years. That's always what's brought people together. And that's an art. So you take any kind of creativity or any kind of art, and it doesn't matter what your political, divisions are. If you have that art, you can bond in that sense. So I love that you guys are, have incorporated that. What are, some of the artistic things that you hope to bring with this camp?
Well, either anybody can go. Well, okay, it's going to be a mix, I think. There are going to be some actual like hands-on arts and crafts that we're going to do to achieve our mission of getting our point across to the rich people in the Hamptons. So there will be, something, we're going to try to actually build things with our hands and work together. And we're going to try to use our time super efficiently because we're there for a short amount of time. But then on the other side, Josanna is going to lead us through some guerrilla theater kind of stuff that could be pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. And the thing that when you were talking about Dadaism that I love about it is that you can say it in any language. And Josanna was teaching us about that. And I just think it's such a unifying just sensibility, but Josanna can definitely highlight some of the things we're going to do. Some of them are secret, but the other thing that we want to make sure that we're getting across with the artwork is that it's not just staying in the camp with us, but we'll also have some like mirrored actions too, where maybe that artwork can be can be online with maybe some of the live streams, or maybe we can have people, wearing a certain color or something like that. So we're all connected.
Yeah, absolutely. Josanna, do you want to expand?
Yeah, it's I feel like the secret bigger theme is connection, because it's what unites us rather than what separates us, because that we are seeing already more and more, right? So finding what unites us is going to be like, I think, the challenge. And there is a particular technique that was inspired by Viola's Pauling, and the guy that created this technique his name is Augusto Boal. And he was in exile here in the US in the 70s. So he was studying theater with Viola Spolin. And she says, like, everyone is able to act. She's the mother of the improv, right? Everyone is able to go to the stage and play the game, which is acting. And I go further, and I think Boal went further too. And we said, like, everyone can actually express artistically. And he created this revolutionary technique called theater of the oppressed, which is also based in the book Pedagogy of the Oppressed. And his theater as a means of social transformation and community building. So you have like many exercises, you have like, and one of them is like invisible theater, like your existence is provoking like a reaction, a social reaction, but people don't know there's theater. And I like to say that our joy will do that there. Like we need to be loud and clear and happy to be there because our joy is our act of resistance.
Absolutely. That's amazing. So, what has it been like trying to organize something in the bougiest town in America, essentially? What
goodness.
kind of things have you been up against? Are you getting permits? Have you been able to get permits? What's it been like?
Well, I'm a logistics gal. So I would say they love to put in, of course, many price barriers. Like even with what Josanna is saying, like our presence being there will be surprising because they put in these small kind of irritating little barriers to keep poor people out. You know, like we're all renting campgrounds, you know, just fairly, no problem there. But you do have to like get an extra thing in order to rent the campgrounds, and in order to have fires there, you have to use a fire bowl, which is an extra cost. So we've been consulting with a lawyer, another like lefty who's helped us out. And so, you know, things like how big can our group be if we're going to be on the beach? You know, we want to keep that in mind. So we might be splitting up or something like that. So we definitely have thought about how we can keep people safe. And you know, we want to weigh the connection more than we do, you know, causing trouble because we don't want to give the cops money. That's why we're trying to. So we definitely have some creative things that we're going to be doing, but we just don't. We'll tell you after.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. It's so frustrating. You know, we're planning some stuff for Emperor and for all, you know, for our March next month, but like we can't tell people. So I guess it's like it's nothing illegal, I swear. But look, the Popo are going to be riding all our asses. We need to be real. So it's like something afterwards, you're like, guess what we did? But right now you're like, I really want to tell people, but we can't. Josanna, do you want to expand?
No, I just wanted to like say that I am excited about your march too on July 30th.
Thank you. Yes, it's going to be epic. It's going to be awesome. And, you know, that's what's so amazing because you guys are going to be incorporating healthcare into this as well. This is, you know, you're a multi-pronged event. So it's going to be healthcare, global warming, direct action. And it's going to incorporate so many things. And, you know, as someone who's been camping, you know, even recently, that, you know, man, you turn all those phones off. You have no choice. You have no signal. And it does become more intimate with your friends, with your comrades, with people you don't know. You are forced to talk to them. And it's such a brilliant idea it's almost like you inadvertently hold these people captive and you're like, okay, you're going to listen to me. Like you have no other choice. And you're like forced to have discussion. And sometimes that's what needs to happen. There's no discourse online. It's very much just like punch down, punch down. I know you guys are not strangers to people coming after you and stuff. People have been coming on my posts and everything, and frankly it's just absolutely disgusting. What makes you guys continue to push regardless of people being jealous, being haters, trying to tear down what you're trying to do? What keeps you guys going? Keisha, do you want to take that first?
Okay, sure. God, I'm going to say the fact that nothing has changed, I guess. We're still poor. We still don't have health insurance. You know, there's still a climate crisis. Everything is still the same. So it's like, honestly, at this point, we kind of feel like, what do we have to lose? I mean, for me personally, but.
Well, you're not online that much. So maybe I think it doesn't bother you as much as you're not online.
No, I protect my mental space from that. I can't do it.
Yeah. So that helps with organizing, I think, for her. But Josanna, I know you had a different experience. You go.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
your account is private now.
oh yeah, but this is because of a job. I'm just
Okay. I was
yeah.
like, oh no, don't tell me people are starting shit.
But it's not you people that are giving me the job. No, it's the other job
Oh.
people. Anyways, but like, yeah, it's well, I think it's like I have this thing that I have to finish what I started because it is what it is. And because of other things, like I'm not a hero. I'm like I'm thinking even about my own too. Like I have nieces and nephews. I have friends that have children. Like I want us to get together and find ways that we can work through this violence that's been happening against all of us that are not considered by the system to be worthy of existence because we are the misfits, right? So I think, but I also think we are majority. That's the only thing I think we're not seeing, right? We are the bigger number and we are supported. So I feel like, yes, being online, I am not from here. And then there is xenophobia and very strong in American culture. I speak like I speak and I talk about these issues. And I'm also a Black woman. So this is like, you're going to have all that come after you. And to be quite honest, I am a soft baby because like Courtney and you were like, no, we protecting our sister. I was like, thank you. Like, and because like I'm just trying to build with you, but you want to be the clown. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that I said this to a person who was harassing us online, but I think that people really make this mistake about the left, that just because we are talking about camaraderie and community and stuff, that for some reason we're going to be like some rollover bitch ass people. That's not the case. If anything, it means that I care more about the people involved. We're more picky. This is an intimate situation, so we have to be protective of the people who are coming, the people who are going to be there. And I think that especially it pisses me off when you're a leftist and you try to take advantage of lefties, because
Right.
I mean, I'm sure it happens on the right too, but like we are leftists and we're supposed to be looking out for the greater good, and we're working class. We don't, I mean, like we just double paid our car insurance. I have no money. Like if like knowing people are out there scamming or asking for aid that they don't need, it infuriates me because people are hanging on. Like that's why it's hard for me to even say like that we're poor. We're living in our parents' house and they have a nice house, and so I'm like, oh, it's not that bad.
Our parents have money. We're poor.
Right. But if anything were to happen tomorrow, that could be gone, you know, or if we get sick, that could be gone. And this is why we fight. But I will tell you, it has been scary because I've been online a lot, and we don't want, we're having an issue right now, you know, because we keep seeing a person who keeps harassing us, and we don't want to come off as being petty because we want to focus on the great thing that we're doing. But then when you have information that someone, I mean, I've been contacted by multiple entities, you know, third parties and anti-war movement, all kinds of things. And when you have somebody who could be harming the actual forward motion that we could be making and harming the trust that we have and building and putting in this divisiveness, that should be called out. So we're at this crossroads because we are obviously nice people and we want to take into account like not causing drama for no reason. But I do think that people need to really stop with this nonsense that like just because we're on the left that we're just going to roll over, because that's not going to be the case. I will not have people taking advantage of and tearing down people who are putting in their time, effort, energy. We're not getting paid. We've been meeting for 3 months now or something, maybe 4, every Saturday. We've been recruiting people. We don't know how to ask for money. Like, I don't know what the taxes are going to be on the other side of this. Who cares?
Exactly.
We're just doing it. And so for people to put their negative energy into it, go do your own thing. And I would still support you if you actually did something real. But I can see that you're a wrecker and you're not actually here for the cause. So I hope people keep their eyes open, at least look around. You know, it's not just like, don't just look at what people are saying. Look at what people are doing. A lot of people who are doing don't have time to say. You know what I'm saying?
Good point.
We ain't online all the time saying because we're out doing. So I just think don't be fooled. And I think that just trying to justice really pushes me. And so kind of the haters, as scary as they can be, kind of drives me because I want the left to succeed. I want us to do something cool. And I'm sick of, and I mean, we went to March for Medicare for All last year. I was so freaking inspired by what you guys did. And I can't wait to go again. And any time that there's something and people are knocking it down with how much work it takes, it drives me nuts. Yeah. So I'm very interested in hearing about March for Medicare for All too.
And you know what? You nailed it. I think, people don't realize, there's very much this, why can't I be included? And the thing is, you have to own what you've done. Here's the thing. You cannot do something, whether, I don't believe you had good intentions, but even if you did, you have to own the ramifications of what happened. And if people do not want to be associated with that, that is their right, period. The optics are not good. So even if you're like, but I did it because, it doesn't matter. And no, I'm sorry, there's no excuse for what you did. But you guys,
no excuse.
Definitely not.
I'll also say, like, I've been in a situation, like when I did stand up, I mean, people made up terrible lies about me. Terrible. I was depressed. Many things happened. But looking at the situation, I was like, wow, I don't want to be around these people anymore because I've helped these people. I've been over backwards. And if they would believe such a lie, I don't want these people in my life. Mm-hmm. So I think it's kind of weird. And also, like, time heals everything. Sure. The truth is always revealed with time. But I think, yeah, like, even if you aren't in the wrong, you would feel some sort of, like, you would feel hurt by that and not want to try to insert yourself.
Insert yourself.
You'd be like, screw
exactly. Why are you calling attention to it? Right. Like, why? You should run and hide. Why are you like, you know what? Stop saying this about me. Yeah, it's true. But still, like, why? Like, seriously. Oh my God.
And if you're going to apologize for something too, you have to realize that people need their own amount of time to get over whatever it was that happened. So you might be over it and you might have moved on and you might have felt like you did the best apology ever, but people have their own time frame for when they want to start to deal with you again. And that's just life.
And that's when you're truly sorry and you can see that people need that time. I think that's when you can truly see that someone's sorry. And, I think that this goes with, like, all organizing. I think, maybe you guys, the audience, can't necessarily tell who we're talking about, but I think that this could just apply in a lot of situations that, I think there does tend to be a lot of kind of people want to discredit other events. And I don't understand that. But I would say one thing that's really helped us is our organizing team is, wow. I mean,
you're pretty good.
They're good. And we've got, and Joy, you're in one of our, like, threads where we've got, like, an also outer ring of support of people too. But when we have an issue, like, we call, I mean, I'm spicy, Josanna's spicy, like, y'all be like, wait a second, hold on. Why would we? And no, here's the receipts. And we're open. And I'm like, let's just be honest about everything right now. And I think the honesty, being honest about our feelings, being honest about how we feel safe or comfortable, that has really kept our group together. And we respect each other. And I've never really organized with people who've valued these kind of things so much. And it's been a really nice experience.
Yeah, it's been amazing to be in the same group as people.
When I posted the links to the show, I posted in the comments, I put asterisk, anyone who comes in here starting bullshit or drama is going to be blocked. Well, I got a DM. You shouldn't have said that, blah, blah, blah. It's my page. Excuse me? No, I'm giving a warning because you saw what y'all did to yesterday. I'm not going through, I'm 43 years old. You are not coming on my page and hijacking it when I'm telling y'all to support these 3 women and causing this, like, no. So don't tell me what to post. Block. Like, no. That's not how I roll. I don't, people were like, the same person was like, well, maybe you could cancel. No. You guys have never been anything but good to me. I don't play that shit, especially when the other person and I have had nothing but drama. Like, no, I'm sorry. Like, the thing is, it's like, I don't understand people, and you see this all the time. you post something positive, and somebody will come in and be like, well, that person, blah, blah. Like, dude, just stop. Just stop. Like, if you don't want to join something, create your own. Everything starts with an idea. Everything. So if you're going to piss and moan that someone won't let you in their action, go start your own. You talk about starting your own things all the time. Do one of them, period. So, we all get that. We all get the, well, what's the point in that? What's it going to change? So do you have a list of, demands? If you end up, meeting with people in the community and they say, well, what's the point? Do you have a list of demands or an idea of what you're going to tell the residents?
Well, I think we are in the process of creating these lists, the list of demands, right? We are also in the process of, like, at this moment, recruiting people. And I feel like, I think Keisha and Courtney maybe think the same. But, like, I feel like this is a moment, an educational moment where we were building together. But of course, our 3 days have 3 themes. So day 1 is universal healthcare demand. It's a human right. It's in the Universal Declaration of the Human Rights. Universal healthcare should be a thing here.
Right.
The second day, yes, the second day, climate change. We need to take action. We know that we have 3 years only. That's the window we have to take action, to try and survive, right? And the third day, then is the general strike, which we will sit behind and support when this moment comes, because that's our place to be, right? But we will bring that as we think is the solution for the change, to force the change. So a system change is made out of reforms. Like, we can break the system through reforms, right? Like, and we have to push these reforms on this system, because what we see lately is that the US society, the weakest one, the ones that are being assassinated, right? Like, suffering violence every day, these are the ones that are not demanding their rights. But these are also the ones that are going to work every day. They're paying taxes. They're trying to find a way to survive. They're trying to find a roof over their head. So we need to find ways to build that fire and bring the demanding out. 2022, Afini says, like, 2022 is the year of action, and it has to be, because it's an election year. Politicians get soft.
Yeah. I also think that the thing that's really fun about our event is that these demands, I think, more like, when we build the movement, because what we want to do too is also have multiple events. We'd like to have something in the West, something in the South, something in the Midwest, thinking big, dreaming big. Maybe somebody's got free land out there, huh?
Maybe international.
Yeah, international, definitely.
Yeah.
It could be.
It could be. I know, that would be amazing. But I think that the thing is, we're building a movement. We want people to feel included, so we want to figure out ways that, and that's why we're doing, like, voice recordings where we're sharing our stories as to, why we still need healthcare or how we're organizing in our communities. And the movement part, I think, is what's really important, because we had that before and we all just scattered, So I think the demands, we're all very clear on the left. It seems that we all want the same things, but we can't seem to shake the division enough to actually achieve it. So I think we've kind of been missing that first step. And that's why I think, if you're watching this and you're like, oh my gosh, but weren't you guys just dramatic just now? No, there's a difference, I think, between gatekeeping, right? Which is one of my problems when I talk about Democrats. Like, how can you be a big tent party? You either are pro-choice or be pro-life. You're not helping us by inviting everyone in. And so I think, it's okay to have standards. It's okay to make sure that people are going to be safe. But once you achieve that and we're building that movement, you know, that's what's important. We're building that community, and then those demands, you know, will be able to actually come because there'll be power behind them.
Absolutely. Keisha, did you want to add anything to that?
The only thing I can think, I mean, you were asking, like, you know, what would happen, what will happen, what I'm sure we will be confronted with people in the Hamptons. I'm I'm curious what's going to happen. I'm hoping that what's going to happen, because I think the way that we're thinking about the programming and the kind of actions we're going to do and the kind of outreach and stuff we're going to do is inclusive. Like, our idea, I mean, universal healthcare is for everyone. So I think, you know, I'm hoping that if we do interact with people, they will get an opportunity, especially the people who work in the Hamptons. That's another thing, is that, you know, we are going to a rich area, but it's not just the people who live there, the people who work there. We're really hoping that we can get in touch with them, be able to talk to them. We'll have some people who are talking about organizing and making labor unions and stuff like that. So I hope that people are open and not just, you know, don't just immediately call the cops on us. At least long enough to, like, look at our little funny art thing that we're doing and, like, wonder just for a second, you know, like, what would it be like if these poor people got something that they actually wanted, you know? And if that doesn't work, then hopefully we'll steal all of their workers and turn them into really radical people.
Yes. That's a really great point. I'm sure there are some Starbucks in there that you could talk to about unionizing and see what their thoughts are. They now have 100 stores across the U.S. who have unionized, which is fucking amazing. So I'm sure you could talk to people like that. That is a very good point, because where there are rich people, there are poor people who have to serve them, which must be just so dehumanizing. And that's because people are desperate. They need money. When you need money, that's what you resort to, and it sucks. I can't even fathom that. But yeah, that's a great point. Do you guys have, and of course you're not going to want to share this, and I understand that, but do you guys have a just in case plan? Like, if you guys do get arrested or something like that, it just, okay. The mom in me is just like, okay, you're all women of color. I get that, mama. Like, are you going to be okay? Like, but I think what you're doing is so important and so needed. Now, when is this, first off, so we can tell everyone?
It's coming up over Labor Day weekend. So it's going to be really cool, you know, skill sharing and bond building and all of that.
It's a community building, educating kind of situation.
Yeah.
Nothing too harsh.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, on healthcare as well, we're seeing with so many things, you know, incrementalism is being pushed. Well, let's just do it state by state. No, your state's $77,000 minimum median income and 4% Black. No, we don't want breadcrumbs. We want universal means universal. We want national. We want every freaking person immediately. And I'm not sure if you ladies know, but there's something called 1881A, which is something that Biden could literally implement with executive order right now, which would give all of us national Medicare for all right this second by executive order. He is not doing that. And the reason is because we are in a pandemic. There's a place called Libby, Montana that has it and has had it for years because there was asbestos in their air. And there is no clause that would separate in that legislation, a pandemic from it. So he knows this, and he knows he could give it to us as 68,000 people a year die, and he is not doing that. And actually, I don't know if you ladies saw this, but an article came out that broke down how the Ukrainian money we're giving them is being spent. We are paying for their health care. Which is just so beyond infuriating. And tell me what you guys think about this. The other day I was laughing because I thought, you know what? I used to get so offended by when Republicans would be like, why are you sending money elsewhere? Why don't you help our own? Because they meant it in a racist context. And now I catch myself saying, why are you sending it elsewhere? Take care of our own in a military aspect,
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
So many people need help. Like it's literally eugenics of the poor happening right now. We're seeing it. And what do you guys think when you see this every day? More money to Ukraine, and now they're saying, all the states who have any money left over from COVID, send that to Ukraine. They want it all back.
I just get so angry. I just get so freaking angry because, like, you're not even doing that to your own people, right? You're not even being the bully of the world that sucks away natural resources, money, everything from all other countries, that bashes their sovereignty. You're not even doing that because of your own people. So then you could explain to them, I'm doing that for you. We all rich here. We're all happy. I would understand the corruption and then I would fight against you, but with a whole. But now that I'm in here, the same tactics they use outside here on us, they do with you guys. But instead of like putting guns on your faces, they do that too, right? But they also use propaganda. And I got so angry, like, because we need to tear some stuff apart, hypothetically.
Absolutely.
And like, it's incredible when I read that he was sending money to Ukraine, taking money out of COVID aid.
Yep. Like, people still are hurting because of the pandemic. We have homelessness is at an all-time high the past 2 years. And who is fighting for us? Like, who is?
No one.
No.
Ourselves. That's the thing. Ourselves. That's all we have.
I think that this is as far economically as they were ever planning on going. And so I think that that's why, like, a lot of, and I don't mean this to say to undermine or belittle social issues in any way, but I think that because there will not improve our economic situation, they want us to focus on these things. And, we all know that if they wanted to do something about Roe versus Wade or about voting rights, they could end the filibuster, but they won't do that. They could fight, but they won't fight when they have opportunities to. I mean, and it's this dance, and we all see it too clearly now. It's like, it's so obvious to me that, of course, the Democrats want strong Republicans because they need someone to play the foe,
right?
Well,
I mean, they're all on the same side. I mean, exactly what you're saying about eugenics of the poor. It's just so interesting how what a coincidence that all of these things should fall into line at the same time. There's a war and we can't get abortions, all of these things are being attacked all at once, but they're taking away COVID money and they're not preparing for any future potential pandemics that will absolutely definitely happen. It's just, they're definitely not very subtly trying to kill people. And I think that people are noticing now. I hope that people are noticing now, at least.
I hope so.
No, I don't know.
And they tell you to vote for them, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, when we were talking about that situation, the clownish situation, people are being like, why are you talking like this? Don't talk about that. Keep it low. It's the same thing the Democrats do to us when we're like, but we still don't have health care. But this government is worse than Trump. And it is. And please don't vote for Trump. I'm not taking votes from one and like, just don't. But like, at least the people were like in this, like, it's saddening to see, like, and what's the point? What is the point? I wanted to ask sincerely, for those of you that defend Biden, defend the Democrats, defend Bernie, defend this squad, what is the point? Because most of the time, ladies, the people that are defending these people are not even the shit libs that have money. No. The people that are defending are poor people. The same way poor people defend Trump.
Yeah.
Like he didn't do anything
Right.
for them. It's the same way in Brazil too, with poor people that defend Bolsonaro. I have a friend that was living in the streets and he's like, no, Bolsonaro. I was like,
I think that people just want something to believe in. And this is the only modicum of control that you have is your vote, supposedly, right?
Which
even though we know that the Democrats can override it with the super delegates, which we should be up in arms about, and Bernie didn't fight against. I mean, I think that is it. I think that it's that there's so little to have hope in America that's kind of the thing, and we've got to like flip it so that we have hope in ourselves, you know, like if we could build that workers movement, then you wouldn't need, you know, people so many people want to vote for third party, so many people.
I think so,
but there's no, people are just like, yeah, but it can't win, you know, and it always sounds ridiculous to talk about, but I mean, how many times are we gonna do this over and over again with Democrats and Republicans who obviously do not serve us?
Yeah, let's just all get together and do something different. I mean, I think that, you know, CJ used to talk a lot on his show about if we could just get people to canvass for a general strike rather than canvassing for a candidate, you know, like let's put our efforts into something that matters instead of just chasing around the duopoly that's never going to do anything for us.
Like, stop believing that there is this like duality in the existency. And I think this is this Christian mentality. This is white Christianity. You only good and you are the bad. Like, there's no such a thing as that. It's like white Jesus is gonna come and save us. No, he won't. He's a lie. Like, the middle's not even white. So
exactly.
We're from there.
They keep us way too busy for anybody to care about nuance, though. You know, people have like 3 jobs, so you don't have time to go like, okay, well, let me dissect this and that. No, okay, fine. This guy's good. This guy's bad. Sure. And that's it. I want to put on the hat. I want to put on the shirt, and I want to be done with it.
This is my team. I'm done.
Yeah. So it's like we almost have to make a team for the workers. You know, I do feel like it's happening though in a way, like with all of these unionizations and stuff. That's very inspiring.
I just get nervous that it's too disjointed. Like I'm getting very nervous about, you know, how can we at some point we all have to band together. It can't be this little party over here and that little party over there because we're splitting our own the little votes that we have. So
true.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think it's happening.
That is a concern.
Yeah, I see the like Gen Z. I see younger millennials, and I have hope, and I see that they are anxious because they were hit strongly by it, right? By the lack of action of other generations. So now we have to do something, and they're trying to do. I see hope, but I usually just try to understand the hopeless because like how it's not hurting on you to be always tired, always overworked, always worried about money, always like thinking that you're not going to be able to finish paying your mortgage because there's no room for interest. Banks can charge whatever the F they want, and it's suffocating. And it like, instead of getting your money and giving to politicians, donate to direct action. We have 2 here today. We're talking about 2 of them. There are so many others. There are freedom fighters. There are so many other actions that you can push. So like RBN was doing a fundraising because JB and CJ are going through dark times. So like there's Tour for the Poor. Like just look for other options. And I'm not telling you to think that these options set here are the options that you have to believe in, but at least donate to people that are building. Like there's Candles in the Sun in Buffalo. Oh my God, the work that these people do is amazing. They're not too much on social media, but you can support them too. Like, invest your money in your community since your government is not investing nor protecting you. Right?
Absolutely. And I do think one of the issues on the left is that as much as they like to talk, they do not hold politicians accountable. Even if they don't like them, the extent of what they do is going on Twitter and say, you're full of shit. Okay, cool. What's that doing? But, you know, like, you know, me and my crew Congressman Ro Khanna reached out to us and said, do you want to come to DC and meet with me? We met with him over an hour. I brought a stack of $15,000 worth of medical bills from the past 2 years with insurance. And I kept it real the whole damn time. I was like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm there. I'm going to hold it down. There was no hugging. There were no pleasantries. He said to me, are you going to vote for Biden if he runs again? I looked at him in the eyes and I said, no. He said, well, what if he's up against Trump? I said, no. Like, I don't have to lie to you, dude. I don't owe you anything. I don't. I am here as an activist. I am here telling you that your words are not helping people like me. So I'm talking to him about, medical debt cancellation. And I'm like, you always post about student debt cancellation, but if you search Twitter for medical debt cancellation, I guarantee I'm the only person who's going to come up. And I was like, it's directly killing people. It's the number one mutual aid. It's the number one bankruptcy, things like that. And he's like, and I said, I know you work for Bernie's campaign. You were, and he was the one who had it on his platform and nobody else has ever talked about it. And he said, is that something you'd be interested in? And a week and a half later, he emailed us and said, I'm drafting the legislation with Bernie. So our meeting, just that a few of us activists going there and meeting with him put legislation in motion. If we didn't hold him accountable in that meeting, never would have happened. Never. If we were just there like, thank you for meeting with us. He wouldn't have done it. He felt obligated because we were assholes, which is how we should have been. I mean, I'm not passing up that opportunity and being like, thanks so much. Like, no. You know what I mean? So people definitely have to start holding people accountable. Saying AOC is annoying, that's not enough. If we're going to hold people accountable, we need to do it. And the Dems are just enablers. Like you guys said, they don't do anything either. I think they're actually really praying they lose in 2022 because their donations are like non-existent and they have no one to deflect to when things are shit. What do you guys think? Do you think they want to lose? And do you think they're going to lose?
I think they are going to lose. And I think they want to lose because it doesn't matter which party has majority, which party is in charge, is the same party. There is something in history in Brazil, which I keep on making. I'm trying to write about it, but I'm giving myself as much time as I can. Comparing, like seeing how the US is like behind, like from like my third world country, because like there was a thing like this in the 1930s. Like I think it ended in 1930s. It was called the politics of coffee and milk. Two states would alternate the leadership of the country, São Paulo and Minas Gerais. So each time they would just alternate. That ended at some point to a bigger revolution. But you see, like it happened in the 30s and it's happening in the US, 2022, 21st century. It's the same thing. They just alternate power and they have strategies. Don't think that they are not knowing that they're going to lose. These people are way ahead. They have a team. They're planning this stuff. And it's
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, let's not forget that if they really wanted to win, they could just sign some executive orders and put this in motion.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, they obviously don't want to win.
We're constantly reminding our mom of this. She'll always come to us and go, but why do you think they didn't do that thing why didn't they do that? And we'll go, well, Mom, they could have done it. And we give her all the different reasons why. And she's always like, but you're sure they didn't have the votes? No, that's not it. Yeah. What's up, man?
It was created like 2 years ago. It's existed forever, but now it's like this boogeyman that just came out of nowhere. And oh my God, you know how you see your memories on Facebook? They come up Well, yesterday I had a memory from 5 years ago that Joe Manchin said he was going to vote for Trump. 5 years ago. Y'all knew who he was. Like, there was, I mean, you knew who he was. So, yeah, I mean, this is.
I mean, Manchin, God, Manchin's such a piece of shit. Can you, and like the DNC they chose to not back a progressive.
Right. They had every opportunity.
Poor, working class, coal miner's daughter. They could have backed her. Obviously, like this is what they wanted. And if you don't see it from that, then you've got to see it from, Biden appointing Manchin's wife right after he voted down 15. And it wasn't just appointing her to anything. Like it was appointing her to a commission in West Virginia, which is like a 6-figure salaried position. And from the infrastructure bill, it was rumored that there was like $1 billion for West Virginia for that commission in there. And it's like, how much of that money do you think West Virginia is going to see if Mrs. Manchin is in charge of the commission? They know exactly what they're doing. I mean, Biden's meeting with Carlyle Group over Thanksgiving, and they're the ones who are helping buy up all this housing stock. Like they don't give one shit about us. I just can't believe that people see any difference between the two parties. It's just that at least the Republicans have this like social stuff that they give to their, constituents. I mean, even the Democrats don't even care about our social issues. They're like, we'll kind of fight for it, I guess, but really,
everything is lip service. Because the Democrats, all they have to do is give lip service to it. Then they're fighting the moral fight, so they don't have to actually back it up with anything to support or codify anything or secure any sorts of rights. I mean, they're definitely I'm pretty sure they're gonna lose, and it doesn't seem, why would they care? I mean, they've already, especially at this point when the war has already started, it's like, oh well, the economic ball is in motion already.
That was their main objective, was to get the war started, because look at Biden's cabinet. I mean, Raytheon all over it. So, I think, they got what they wanted. They that's what they needed. And I don't think that they're going to care much after that, because they know that the conditions are getting so bad. I mean, even when we're talking about that extra COVID money, if it's not going overseas, they want it to be going to the police forces, in the state. And they know they want to be arming the police. They know that more inflation is coming, and I think food shortages are coming. And
they know. They know we know. And I think it's like, I remember it was Joe Manchin, that's how you say his name, that was in his yacht, and like some people came kayaking and they were like, we are talking to you. Because I always come back to the people, because like, really, you went to his yacht and you didn't bring like eggs. Eggs.
Yeah.
Eggs. You could have brought eggs. You know what I mean?
Because we're afraid to get in trouble, because we're too poor to afford getting a ticket for that shit. I mean, literally, that is like the whole mindset. Like, I wish I could be more radical, but like, I cannot afford bail.
No,
I can't. There's no way. And then the court fees alone. I mean, this is the problem. Like
that's why we have to think of ways around.
And we need a wealthy leftist benefactor, where all these other podcasters and such that have the money should be leading these efforts.
Right.
I mean, or giving us some money so we can do it.
Yeah. Why? Sorry, I was like, why are they pushing? It's actually pulling. Why are they pulling that? Classic. Why are they pulling that?
About that before we went live. It's really incredible that these people who are millionaires, who make a living doing their podcasts, like it's that successful, they do it as a living. When's the last time they shared a mutual aid post? When is the last time they had an actual activist, like an actual true volunteer, hardcore activist on their show? I don't know. I'm not seeing that shit. I'm seeing, I'm trying to go on shows to promote our march, and I'm hitting up people I've done shows with for years. But now they're doing shows on talking about other YouTubers. Now they're different. Now they are different kinds of streamers, and I don't fit in to what they're doing now. So I'm seeing, I've done my show 5 years, And I have never seen so many streamers just completely disregard the poor and the activists for shiny objects. It's truly incredible. Do you guys find that? Have you reached out? You don't have to drop names, but have you reached out to people and said, hey, I want to promote, what we're doing? And they're just like, crickets.
I mean, I think thus far we do need to expand out of our group. Thus far, I think it's been pretty positive, but we haven't asked any of these bigger streamers because we kind of know that they're gonna say no. But we've tagged them in tweets like, hey, maybe you should look into this, and that's something we're gonna keep pushing through the next few months. But I would say, just as an outsider looking in at your situation, Joy, like I was very much on Twitter the past few years, and you're huge on Twitter, and especially when Bernie and everything was happening, like. I do remember these streamers, like, it just seems like there were a lot of them who were down with Bernie, but I guess that was as progressive as it was going to get, or just because it was in the zeitgeist. Like, there just seems to be people who, all of us should be getting more radical because things are getting worse. And so they should be having you on more. They like the fact that they were not like, the next March Medicare for All, you've got a open invitation. You just let us know because this is huge. That was a successful, amazing event. And they weren't there, first of all, of course, but then they're not even doing the small thing of helping promote. And I can't wrap my mind around that. What do we want? What are the goals? Like, you've got the platform. I can't believe that.
What is the point of having the platform if you are not using it to build some kind of community and get people to do something eventually, whatever it is, it's a waste.
Yeah, I mean, I would, 56 cities across the country in one day we organize, and it's like certain people with like 500,000 followers could not even bother to share a post. We would DM them. They'd see our messages. We asked them to speak. They'd see our messages. We'd ask them to share something. They'd see our messages. I mean, it was truly outstanding. Like, just, it was incredible. And I'm like, you are showing yourselves. If you cannot even share something, like, it really is about clout for you. Like, it really is. Look, I know I could do my show and end up quitting my job if I started talking about other YouTubers. I don't want to. I don't give a shit. I don't care about that shit. This is what I want to do. So if it gives me lower viewers, I don't care. I don't care. I started this shit as an activist. And that's why I love people like you guys too, because you do a show, but it's from an activist perspective. And those are the ones, yes, instead of donating to bajillionaire podcasters, throw it at smaller shows. That's how it should be. But yeah, mutual aid, absolutely. Screw sending it to politicians or candidates who say all the right things. Y'all say all the time you donated to AOC and you regret it. Let them do their thing. Let them prove to you they deserve your hard-earned money. Give it to mutual aid. Give it to people doing the work that you know for a fact it's going to be beneficial. So before we go, I definitely want to give you guys a chance to plug Camp Dada. I want the website, everything like that, where people can donate. I know you guys are also accepting, you have a wish list of things as well. So I definitely want to address that too.
We're fine.
What was the last thing you said?
Sorry,
Keisha's
my phone rang.
Keisha's phone rang.
Oh, I know you have a wish list. So if you want to talk about the wish list, the donate, the website, all that stuff.
Okay. Oh, okay. Awesome. Yes. Thank you so much for having us. What a delight. We're going to also have a panel that we would like you on to discuss some of what we've been discussing here, the difficulties in organizing, as we all know. So we'll reach out to you after this. Yes. So Camp Dada, we've got a Twitter. It's @InfoChangeCamp. or you can just look up Camp Dada. We've also got a hashtag going around. That's where you can see some of our voice recordings that we've been doing. That should be getting everybody involved. And you can find for our Twitter, our Give Butter page, which has where we're accepting monetary donations because there are things that we're going to need to buy on the ground or bulk food and things like that. But if you don't feel comfortable with that, we've got a wish list because we need sleeping bags, we need tents, we have people who have never gone camping that we're trying to let come to these spaces. So give the gift of camping if you can. And there's tons of other items on there. So yeah, check that out. I think our Twitter is one of the best ways to get all of the information.
Yeah, to get all the links. And the Give Butter is givebutter.com/campdadafund, FUND. So
I saw that and I was like, give butter. I like that.
I like
Josanna,
it.
do you want to add to that? Like, do you guys want to give a pitch of why people need to donate and how important this is?
Well, sorry. Oops. I think people need to donate because it's important to build community. It's important to also be like, well, I want to invest in things that will come back as positive. So building community, educating people, knowing that like maybe I cannot be there right now, but I can donate. And then when it's here in the West Coast, I can be present and other people will donate. We have to think in a balance. We are not like saying just think in a balance. It's going to happen here and then it's going to happen there. And we are going to all get together. We are going to get the strength to, again, do a successful nationwide march like was the Medicare for All, right? So I think we need to, as Courtney said in the beginning, relieve the spirit that's like, we want to fight. We want to be together. We want to have a future. We want to have a future, and we need also to better the present, because actions like this can build to a moment where we go into better the present and be like, oh, it didn't take long. It didn't take much, right? So I think it's important to support direct action. You choose one, you pick one and support it because this is change. We are asking for Camp Dada today. And yeah, just make sure that if you can, just donate.
And where can people find you, Josanna?
I'm on RBN Revolutionary Blackout every Tuesday. And I am on Twitter too. Josanna16 is my Twitter at right there. You can find me in these places.
Okay. And the Banks sisters, Keisha and Courtney. Would you like to share anything about the importance of joining and contributing to Camp Dada?
Gosh, if you can't, what Josanna said was great, but if you feel like you would like to help us out in some other way and maybe you don't have any money to offer, still get in touch with us because we're going to need people to help out when we're doing our mirror actions, so that like, let's say, we're doing an action in the Hamptons, you might be at your local grocery store canvassing and telling people about a general strike or climate change or what have you. So we're going to need a lot. It takes, as you know, Joy, it takes a lot of people to get something done. So, if you can't volunteer money, we would love to have you volunteer your time.
Volunteer work.
Yeah, exactly. Volunteer your, we have people who do graphics. We have people, who are good with logistics and secretarial. There's so much that needs to be done. So if you can't help out financially, then please just get in touch with us
and just spread the word.
Yeah, it's free. It's free to share and retweet things,
Yes.
So.
Exactly. I was just going to say that at the very least, everyone can smash that share button and, use that hashtag. That social media is our gift. It's hell at a lot of times, but it's our gift. That's how we connect with people. So even just sharing can really bring people out and get that conversation started. So where can people watch the Banks sisters and follow you guys on Twitter?
You guys can follow us on YouTube. It's Banks Sisters. I'm at Courtney Banks on Twitter. And I just wanted to also point out that we just started with our merch. So that's another way to get involved. So we can kind of show how big our movement is growing. So it will be like a cost and then another. So it'll be a little bit like more expensive.
Yeah, the shirts aren't cheap, but you're donating.
Right, because a little bit goes to the donation. So, but you are getting something. So that's nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm at Courtney Banks on Twitter. Don't think that I'm nice because I'll come at you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But no, this has been a lovely conversation and I really appreciate you having us.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
Yes, Joy, thank you so much for having us. I was excited to be here with y'all. I was really
You ladies are amazing. I will absolutely support you guys in anything you do. Great work. This is what it's all about. Anyone watching who has shows, have these ladies on. Let's promote this. Let's uplift activists and organizers, and especially women of color. We need to celebrate organizers, activists, and especially ones who are the most disenfranchised. So definitely reach out, follow them, support them, and thank you so much for tuning in. Smash that like button and subscribe, and thank you all again so much.
Yay. Thank you. Yay.
Thanks, y'all.
Have a good night. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
How fabulous are they?